What's up, guys? I'm actually back here for my next Bracketology video. Apologize, it's been a little bit. It's actually the night of December 12th. Bracketology got released earlier today, of course, so we're going to go ahead and get straight into it. By the way, for those who are new, I use ESPN's Joe Lunardi's Bracketology. I feel like this is the one that I feel like best represents the current situation and stuff, and I like it to where it's like if it were to start now, what it would look like instead of like simming through like CBS's does. But here we go. By the way, it's been a crazy season already. Um, excuse me, dare I say that this upcoming tournament, I don't know how, but it could pale in comparison to the one we recently had. And the one we recently had was quite madness. History was made with the Final Four and stuff of what happened. So, in the national championship. So, let's get straight to it. Top overall seeds Arizona. They've been the best team right now, I think, in college basketball. They've got their pieces. I think this is a team that could finally make a very deep run. First team out the Ducks. Oregon is not very good defensively, from what I've noticed. I think they have a decent offense. They can score some guys, but we'll see if they make tournament. They might barely miss. We'll see. I think they'll be fighting for it most of the year. Last team in Butler. Butler's surprising some people this year. They have a gritty offense, they have a gritty team, great offensive capability. Don't quite defend very well. They've already lost to Michigan State, another team, but they just beat Texas Tech not too long ago. Butler hasn't been really that good in a few years, so let's get straight into it, guys. Um, by the way, let's read the summary real quick. Michigan State has really been falling off, of course, lately as well. Um, Basically, if anything, Michigan State's fall has been even uglier than North Carolina's from last year. Spartans have only one win of note, and are already 0-2 in the Big Ten, and subtracting three sub 300 guaranteed games. Have an effective record on our board of just 1-5. It's crazy. Um, James Madison too has been doing very well. Of course, let's get straight into it. On the bubble teams, last four buys: Mississippi State overrated, Utah, decent little team. I think they're kind of sneaky a little bit. They got some defensive capability. I think they have a couple guys on their team who can definitely push a little bit. Don't like Providence too much. South Carolina, I think, is a strange team. They are really not. I watched that game against Clemson. They shot a lot of threes. They couldn't quite work out well on the inside. I don't know if that was an outlier or if South Carolina is more of a three-point shooting team. But South Carolina, their defense kind of fell off against Clemson. They had an opportunity to get a very good road win there, but they fell short. Last four in: New Mexico, Cincinnati, Washington. I haven't seen Washington here in a while. I mean, this is a sight. And also Cincinnati. Cincinnati has they just lost to Xavier. Then you got Butler. First four out. Oregon. How about Indiana State? Indiana State's played very well. They got a very good offense. Indiana State's look really good. I mean, we'll see how they do this year. They ain't been in the tournament in a while. Quite the sight. UCLA, Nevada. Nevada just lost their first game of the season. Next four out: Washington State. They're creeping up. USC, man, they've been struggling lately. I'm not liking them too much right now. Bronny James had his first game against Long Beach State. They lost. TCU and Virginia Tech coming up in the bit there. So we have some movement, obviously. Villanova and Iowa State on the up, along with Auburn and Grand Canyon. Gonzaga, Vermont, Ohio State, and Mississippi State, Texas A&M all going down. Meanwhile, Memphis is also going up too. Alabama going down. Colorado moving up a little bit. UConn back up to a 1 seed. Um, South Carolina is new to this, actually. James Madison up to an 11 seed. Clemson's up to a 3. That's crazy. I've never seen them that high. Florida Atlantic is down to a 4. Let's get straight into it. Enough jibber jabber. Let's do it. In the West region, Arizona will beat Lipscomb. Next up, we have 8 Texas versus 9 Florida. I think Texas being an 8 seed is a little bit disrespectful. They've only lost twice. They did get smoked by Marquette, but they should not be an 8. They should be like a 6 still, 7 seed. I don't know why they dropped this much. I think Lenardi's just a jackass, honestly. Florida is not that great, in my opinion. I mean, they got. I don't know. I don't really like Florida that much. 5 Auburn, 12 Grand Canyon. Auburn, they're kind of a. I think they're good, but I don't think they're that great. But we're going to Grand Canyon and upset. I'm going to go with my first upset. Grand Canyon just knocked off San Diego State. Um, they're looking to make their case known this year for sure. 4 BYU, 13 UC Irvine. BYU may be over. They might be fraudulent. I'm not going to lie. They just lost to Utah. UC Irvine's sneaky. You know what? We're going to take a risky pick here. It's early. Don't get too crazy. Just or don't go too crazy. I mean, it's just BYU. They haven't really faced a lot of great teams yet. Um, Utah was their first real test. NC State's not been. NC State's worse than last year, in my opinion. I would say 6 Colorado State versus 11 Washington Butler. Colorado State's got an injury concern. I think one of their guys is out for the next several weeks. That's not good. Washington and Butler. I think, and by the way, Colorado State already beat Washington. Joe Lunardi is just something else. You cannot put two teams that have already faced each other or in the same conference that match up against each other potentially or do in the first 2 rounds of the tournament. Colorado State, I think, is going to win either way. Butler's been showing something this year. 3 Gonzaga, 14 Vermont. Gonzaga just lost to Washington. Speaking of them, Gonzaga, I not liking their mojo, honestly. 7 Ohio State versus 10 Mississippi State. Ohio State just dropped a very questionable game against Penn State. I think Ohio State's a pretty decent team. I think they're going to cause some problems this year. 2 Creighton versus 15 South Dakota State. Creighton, I know they that one loss against Colorado State, but they've been on a roll since. That was just a blip in the radar. It happens. Oh well. Arizona versus Texas. This could be a trap game for Arizona. I think Texas is solid, but without the Sioux, I don't know, man. They struggled really badly against Marquette. They couldn't shoot the three very well. I'm going to go Arizona to win. Arizona's got about everything you would want in a Final Four national champion team. But the thing is, can they put it together? We have a 12-13 matchup here. Grand Canyon and UC Irvine. UC Irvine was a 13 seed when they went to the round 32 in 2018. We're going to go Grand Canyon, I guess. I don't know. It's a coin flip at that point. Colorado State versus Gonzaga. I am going to actually take Colorado State I don't know. It doesn't matter either way. I don't. They're not going to like who they face in the next round. It's going to be Creighton. I think Ohio State could be a problem though. Creighton's going to have some issues. I think guarding Bruce Thornton, they're going to have to slow them down. Ohio State's a team that can score a lot. And by the way, too, Gonzaga just is not gelling honestly consistently. Arizona will end Grand Canyon's run, and then Creighton and Colorado State. We had this matchup once. Colorado State got beat the crap out of Creighton. I think it reverses this time. That was, of course, early in the season. Arizona Creighton. This is going to be a powerhouse of a matchup. The question's going to be, can Creighton slow down Arizona? Because Arizona is one of the fastest teams in the country. This is a different Arizona team we've had in the past. I wouldn't say from the last 2 years, but I would say from even before that. This is a tough matchup. I will go with Creighton. I can't get off their wagon. I really like this Creighton team. Arizona, can you trust him? Can you trust him enough? Will Caleb Bluff fall off the grid? He's so far been doing well for them, but is he going to consistently stay like that? We don't know that. Arizona's got a history in the last couple of years of being a failure when it gets to the big ones. 1 UConn in the East region versus 16 Morris State. UConn, in my opinion, starting to look like a team that has the best chance to get farther in the tournament as a defending national champion that we've seen in quite some time. I definitely like UConn in the tournament. Usually they're very well oriented in the tournament. They usually got their head on straight, don't get phased. They have a great coach. I think this roster is very, very sound. 8 Miami, 9 Kansas State. Again, they've already played. Why the hell are they in the first round against each other? Miami, I don't know what's going on with them. Why are they ranked above Colorado? We'll talk more on them later, but why are they ranked above Colorado when they lost them on a neutral floor, 90-67? That is just disrespectful. K-State just lost Naquan Tomlin. They are a complete mess over there right now, in my opinion. Why he got let go, I have no idea. I think Miami wins, but Miami better get their head on straight because they do not look good right now. They've been a little bit shaky lately. 5 Wisconsin and 12 Princeton. Wisconsin has A.J. Storr. They've been playing pretty well. They got smoked by Arizona. Wisconsin, I think, is above average. Princeton just dropped their first game of the season. I don't know who to pick here. Princeton's a solid team, but I'll go Wisconsin, I guess, for right now. That's actually like a 55-45 game, honestly. I could see the upset. 4 Florida Atlantic at 13 UC Greensboro. Florida Atlantic is a very dangerous team. They have multiple guys who can drop a lot of points. Very fast-paced, dynamic team. Do not count them out. They actually have been playing well despite the loss to Bryant a couple weeks ago, which made, again, zero sense. Nothing's made sense. Why even will it? I mean, college basketball is fun for that reason, too. 6 Kentucky and James Madison. Kentucky, I think Kentucky can be a higher seed when it gets to the tournament time, I can't ignore what James Madison's been doing. They've just been looking good. They can shoot the ball. Kentucky needs to get their 7-footers, and besides, how are they going to look once they get those guys back? Are they going to be as efficient on offense? Are they going to be more slow paced? I mean, they're not going to be playing small ball at that point. So what are they going to be? What's their identity? Their identity could change drastically depending on how this goes. We'll give the run. We'll give the run to James Madison. They've been playing well. Now Clemson, Colgate. Clemson to me, I'll go with them. But Clemson, I want to see. I know this is gonna sound crazy. I want to see them continue to be consistent like this. Clemson has been in these really close games, but they pull them out. They're kind of like right now. They're kind of like the Providence of 2021, 22, in my opinion, a little bit. And Clemson, yeah, they're going to be due to lose, and not too far from now. But for now, let's enjoy the success. Why not? PJ Hall's played very well for this team. Their supporting cast has been doing just enough. Clemson, one of the better teams in the country. 7 San Diego State, 10 Providence. I don't like either team right now, but I like San Diego State, I guess. They just damn near lost to UC Irvine. That would have been a bad loss for them. Good God, if they would have lost to them, I don't think they would be in this bracketology, honestly, or they'd be just on the outside looking in. And Baylor has just looked so good. Their offense is like has renewed energy. That is a new team basically, and what Baylor is doing, what Scott Drew has done for this team, he is just one of the smartest coaches you can have right now in the league. One UConn 8 Miami. They were in a Final Four matchup, but I like UConn. Absolutely, just I think they're going to dismantle Miami. I don't think it's going to be close. 5 Wisconsin, 4 Florida Atlantic. I like Florida Atlantic right now. 11 James Madison, 3 Clemson. This is a very interesting game. James Madison could run out of smoke here, run out of fire. We're gonna Cinderella run. Do we keep it going? Oh man. I'm gonna take Clemson to win. I don't know. It's tough. I mean, you can go with James Madison. I don't know. San Diego State and Baylor. I think Baylor just outpaces San Diego State. Although that's a tough one because Baylor could get. San Diego State is notorious for slowing things down, but Baylor's just been playing so like high octane. It's impressive. UConn, Florida Atlantic. It's crazy how close we were to getting this matchup in the national championship. I still think UConn would have won. And I think they're going to win here. UConn, I don't really see having them. I don't see them having much of a challenge in this region. Florida Atlantic and Baylor might be the two teams I'd be concerned about. Maybe Clemson too, but Clemson's a little bit weaker than both these teams. I think. I think Florida Atlantic and Baylor are actually both better than Clemson personally. I think. Now I'm not saying Clemson ain't bad, but it's just the way that these games have gone. Honestly, speaking of Baylor Clemson, I'm going Baylor. They just will outpace Clemson. Clemson's not going to be able to, like Clemson. Clemson, against Alabama, they did beat them, and that was a very impressive win. So the argument could be made Clemson can beat Baylor, but Baylor, in my opinion, has been better than Alabama. UConn Baylor. This will be a great game. I'm going to go UConn for right now. I think UConn's just playing so good. Until they get knocked off their ride, I don't know how I could pick against them. I don't typically like taking defending national champions far, but UConn, I could trust them actually. Now, here's a team I cannot trust is Purdue. I still think Purdue, they almost lost to Alabama. Of course, they pull away after being down for a good chunk of that game. Purdue just is overrated in my opinion. We have 8 Villanova and 9 Iowa State. I don't know what's happening with Villanova. I don't know why they're losing these unbelievably lousy games. It's just been terrible. They are on a bad streak on their own. Iowa State, I think, wins as of right now. 5 Virginia, 12 Indiana. Indiana should not be in here. Indiana hasn't looked that great this season. Virginia, I hate to say because I like Indiana, but Virginia's just been playing better right now. I don't know where they're getting this from, but they've been keying in on some wins. They've been picking teams off. Some pretty decent ones, too. Now, here comes a team that I would say, I shouldn't say surprises me, but I should have been looking more into them. But 4 Oklahoma, 13 Liberty. Oklahoma is honestly pretty underrated right now. This is the best Oklahoma team we've seen in years. Porter Moser has this team on a roll. That defense is for real. They are going to be dangerous in March. I could see Oklahoma, though, falling asleep maybe later on in the middle of the season, but I still wouldn't count them out. Remember, Moser coached at Loyola Chicago. 6 Memphis is an 11 Dayton. Memphis just got a huge pickup of Naquan Tomlin. I think Memphis is going to be even more explosive in offense. Now I can trust Memphis a little bit more now because Memphis was a little bit streaky a few weeks ago, but they just knocked off A&M. We'll talk about A&M here in a second. North Carolina Hofstra. North Carolina, they have the roster to make a big run, but they are just a team that I don't know if I'm going to be able to get into them or not. I don't know. Their defense is severely lacking, honestly. They have a good offense, but I don't know, man. They're a very strange team. 7 Texas A&M versus 10 Utah. Utah's got a pretty solid defense. A&M, I don't know what's going on with A&M. A&M has looked pretty wishy-washy lately. Like, they shot terribly against Memphis. And the game was Florida Atlantic. It was all Wade Taylor. Sometimes it's just like A&M's got to figure it out. They need to be more cohesive overall as a team. I know this team can do damage if they get it together, but can they stay consistent long enough? You got to play these tough games like against Houston. Houston's not going to be easy. They're not pushed over, trust me. Although their close game at Xavier made 0 sense. 1 Purdue versus 9 Iowa State. I don't think Purdue loses, although the press defense could be an issue for Purdue. Virginia and Oklahoma. I will go with Oklahoma. They have looked honestly better than Virginia in certain aspects. I don't know. Like Oklahoma, I haven't really watched any of their film, but the fact that they're playing the way they are, I just, at that point, I mean, do I really need to watch anything at this point? Like, well, I'm going to still, though. I'm going to watch stuff from the past games and stuff. 6 Memphis and 3 North Carolina. This is a real tricky game. Um, Armando Bacot could be an issue. Honestly, I think Memphis could have, like, I don't know though. The way that Memphis can play now, they really can open up their offense even more. God, this is a shootout, by the way. This will be an offensive shootout. Um, the fact that North Carolina has been, oh, you know what? We're gonna take a risk and go with Memphis. I don't really give a damn at this point. Houston, Texas A&M. I will go Houston. I think Houston's gonna physically outmatch A&M. A&M again, like I said. I don't know. A&M just hasn't really looked right. And I got Oklahoma beating Purdue. I don't really care. I don't care about well people be like, well, you know you're just going off of like well the first bowl blah blah blah. Well, yeah, I mean Oklahoma again they are really containing teams, and Purdue's supporting cast are they going to like Oklahoma's defense? No way, they're not going to. Houston versus Memphis, old AAC rivals. I don't know who to pick here. This is a dangerous matchup for Houston now, in my opinion, because now again with Tomlin's a very robust player. He can do different things well that will fit Memphis's scheme. Oh gosh, this is really not the matchup Houston wants. I don't know though. Um, Chaos does happen this tournament, but I'm gonna go Houston to win, not by much. Oklahoma, Houston. This is something I did not think about. I should have thought more about. We'll go Houston for now. Um, I want to see if Oklahoma can continue to be consistent or not. Let's not completely jump on the wagon of a Final Four run. Although again, you're going to say, well, you got them in the Elite Eight. Well, you know, it was a pretty big run, but you know what? I mean, you're going up against a flaky team like Purdue. I don't care. Again, I don't care if they only lost once. I mean, whatever. South region we go. This region could get very interesting. We'll go through it. Kansas will beat the winner of Prairie View A&M and Merrimack. Colorado, Ole Miss. I am definitely more into Colorado. Ole Miss is overrated along with Mississippi State. They're both not really all that to me. Alabama, Drake. Alabama could lose. Alabama's, again, a more higher offensive powered unit. They had Purdue on the ropes for a while. Very impressive performance by Alabama. This came up just short. Illinois and Akron. I like Illinois, although they got slowed way down recently in a game matchup they lost. Illinois, if they can play consistently well, I think Illinois could be a dark horse. Like Damascus shot very well. I mean, that game is Florida Atlantic showed that Illinois is capable of doing some damage. Duke and New Mexico versus Cincinnati. I like Duke either way. I think the reason it's going to be Cal Filipowski. I think he will dominate down low. They'll just keep feeding him the ball. 3 Tennessee and 14 McNeese State. Tennessee, Tennessee, the thing that they got to do, first off, Connect's got to stay healthy, and then Tennessee's defense needs to lock down better. Like North Carolina scored 100 points in them, 100 freaking points. That's asinine. It's ridiculous. Tennessee though, I think this Tennessee team is a little bit underrated. But then again, though, their supporting cast, like if Zakai Ziegler can continue to get back to his um, old form, I think Tennessee is very dangerous, and they go. Good God, I just never realized that matchup there. 7 Northwestern, 10 South Carolina. I'm going to go Northwestern. I think Northwestern's got the more um, capable perimeter shooting game, like especially on the in the paint. South Carolina, I have a little bit. I only have a small sample of South Carolina, but I think Northwestern has the better playmakers. At the end of the day, 2 Marquette and 15 Longwood. Marquette is a very dangerous team. My God, but then again, can you trust Shaka Smart? I always say that, but the thing is, then again, though, at some point, Shaka Smart will get his team much further than the round of 64 / round of 32. He will eventually find a way to do it. Kansas and Colorado, this is a very tricky, this is actually a dangerous game for Kansas because if Kansas does not play their standard of uh, their standard of basketball of good their standard of good basketball, basically, I don't know how I'm kind of lost myself wording that one. Colorado could strike the upset. I'm going Kansas though. Colorado is a team that does have some kinks they need to work on, but I'll tell you what, Colorado can run up and down the court. I think they can cause a problem with Kansas. I think Hunter Dickinson though is going to have his hands full against Tristan Da Silva and them. Alabama and Illinois, I have no idea who to go with here. I'm just I don't know who the hell to pick. Um, they're both honestly these two teams are kind of similar. I mean, they both are a little bit similar in ways. But I'll go Illinois. Screw it. Duke and Tennessee. I'm going to Tennessee because actually I don't know who I'm picking here. Yeah, I'm picking Tennessee for now because to Duke dropped two pretty strange games. One to Georgia Tech and then another one I don't recall who they lost to, but still you're talking these games that are winnable for Duke, and I just do not get it, honestly. Then again, though, Georgia Tech could be better than we think, but then again, though, I really don't know at the moment. We don't know. We're not going to know for another little bit. But strange. Northwestern Marquette. Marquette could be in a bit of a issue. Could have an issue here at Northwestern. Northwestern's going to be pretty um, sturdy in this matchup. I like Marquette though. Their playmaking is just so efficient with Kolek and Iguodaro. I really think Marquette's going to be on a mission this year. The Big East might represent very well in this tournament. They might represent even more. They might have even more prominence in this tournament than last year. Kansas and Illinois could be. This is a tough game. Illinois, if they play their best game, they might beat Kansas. I really don't trust Kansas, man, but I'm going to take them. Tennessee and Marquette, this is where I could see Marquette dropping off a cliff because Tennessee is going to match them blow for blow on the defensive end. I think Cola could get shut down in different ways. Hmm. The X factor would be Dalton Kennett on Tennessee because at Tennessee, again, if they're like if Vescovi and Ziegler are firing on all cylinders, Marquette, though you got to remember Marquette is a team that also has sharpshooters. I'm gonna take Tennessee. I'm gonna have to do it. Kansas and Tennessee played once already, and I don't trust Kansas at all. Don't trust them. It's gonna be one of those things where they lose early, they lose in the Elite Eight or something like that. That's Kansas for you. Don't really care at this point. This bracket's strange. 2 Creighton and 1 UConn. It's Creighton's time, in my opinion. Houston versus Tennessee. This is extremely difficult because now the question begs: Houston's still got the good. Houston has a formidable backcourt, obviously, um, and they can have their way inside the paint. But they're gonna have to be. They're gonna really have to win the rebounding margin because if they don't, I really think Tennessee can win this game. Tennessee has had quite a few bits of failure in the tournament, getting far. They could finally. There's a few teams that have that are overdue to break their streak of making it to at least the second weekend. Marquette's one of them. Um, I don't know who wins this game. This is really difficult. The fact Tennessee can fail to score too scares me, but I know it's probably like, well, why'd you pick them over Kansas? Well, Kansas is a team that just gets real funny. They always have these spurts of funniness that gets them taken out. Houston, we'll take Houston. Screw it. Creighton and Houston. This is a tough game. Like Houston could absolutely fluster Creighton and cause them to really struggle. But I really Creighton's defense is going to have to figure it out because Houston is not coming to play around in this matchup. But I think at the end of the day I'm going to take Creighton to win. I don't know. This is a really bizarre bracketology right now because there is so much ambiguity. It's not even funny at this point. But this is just a rough idea of who I think can make it far. Obviously, don't take us to the bank, but you know what I'm saying. But thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Please stay tuned for the next one, which will be next week. And also stay tuned for my college football bowl game predictions video. That's coming out by Thursday. Hope you guys take care, and see you guys in the next one. Peace.